Hello and welcome to Voorhees Tiger Vision. I'm your host, Monty. I'm here with the coach. Coach Huff, how you doing, brother? How's everything going?
Man, things are well, man, here in Denmark. Things starting to heat up. It's late May, so you know what that means. That means you're getting some team camp stuff. You're recruiting a little bit to finish up your 2021 class and get into your 22 class, and things are great, man. I can't complain.
Coach, if I was having as much success recruiting as you were having, I think I would be feeling like things were really great too. You got it rocking and rolling down there, man. I think, I don't want to step into this and start taking things for granted, but I do want to kind of check in from time to time as we're doing this show to check in with you on how you feeling. Are you adjusting well to the job? What are some things that are different? That some of the things that you did expect and some of the things that you didn't expect coming into being the head coach of Voorhees.
I mean, you got to just remember, and we talked about it a lot on this show, that whirlwind period of getting a job October 27th and getting on campus November 2nd, and then trying to fill a team in 2 months, and they don't get on campus until January 4th, and then starting to play January 12th. So right now, it's like it's a really good time because you know your guys. You've had a great season. The guys are doing everything they're supposed to do. They finished the semester off well. They're doing the things they're supposed to do in the off-season workout program. We are having some success in recruiting. But again, we talk about recruiting. After that, find it, recruit it, sign it. We got to do the other part of developing it once it gets here. And we'll do that. But we're really excited about that. We're making sure all our guys are geared up to come to Tiger transition, to come to orientation, to make sure they're eligible with NAIA. And so we're really excited about this time, man, and to have a preseason with our guys. To me, that's what I'm really excited about, is to have a preseason with them.
For sure. If it's one thing that kind of has consistently been true about you through your coaching career, it's always been that work ethic and preparation. I think we've been able to see that year over year, right? Now I feel like Voorhees will be able to reap the benefit of that because you get that full off season to really work with those guys. How excited are the guys even to be able to have that experience, being that they didn't get it this year?
I mean, they're really excited. We were in our group meet chat today, just talking about be ready when they come back and be ready for preseason conditioning. And I got some former players of mine who said, if y'all thought what happened January 4th was tough, get ready for preseason when we get back on campus. So those good things you like to hear, because the guys really want to get back. We miss each other. We miss being around each other right now. But we're just ready to get back and, try to win this thing one more time, man. We know the bullseye is on our back, and we're ready to accept that challenge. And I told those guys the last day we were together as a team, I said, and I tell them every day, if you don't come back better than you were, then we're going to have a problem, because not only will one of those recruits be trying to take your spot, because we are competitive in this, and we tell them all that you've got to compete every time you step on the floor. But not only that, but if you don't come back better than you were before when you left, then we can't be better as a team. The hardest thing is a repeat. I don't know how many people understand that, but the hardest thing is a repeat, because you're not the hunter anymore. You're the hunted.
100%. And as we talk about the incoming recruits, we typically have a lot of parents, a lot of different players that listen to the show. What is it that you are looking for from these incoming freshmen that can either say, hey, this kid may be a step ahead of where I may have thought, versus some other things that typically trip freshmen up when they first come in?
The speed of the game, the physicality, and basketball IQ. Like, if you can come in and when we start, getting on the floor, are you making the right reads that sometimes freshmen have trouble making? Is the physicality or the physical nature of the game not bothering you? You're able to play through contact, because fouls in high school are not fouls in college. And lastly, are you able to persevere mentally through the the ups and downs of college basketball. Going to class every day, mom and dad aren't waking you up every day. Those little kind of things are things that matter for us to see, can you take that next step and be ready to really contribute and make immediate impacts for us as freshmen on the court. And then I'll take it a little bit further. Do you know what? Can you handle the competition, the level of competition, as my assistant James just puts in the chat? Because our level of competition in practice is bar none probably one of the best in the country. And then lastly, can you just do the things that you need to do in the classroom? So.
That's a great comment there by Coach Williams. Coach, and I'll leave the topic after this, but I just wonder, do you feel like incoming freshmen, when they come into the college level, and again, you're the head coach now at Voorhees, but you've also coached at the Division I level in two different stops as a location. You've been a head and a extremely successful high school coach as well. So you've seen kids at a lot of different levels.
Right.
Do you feel like kids come in and they struggle more offensively or defensively? Which do you say that it is typically?
Defensively, they struggle because you just don't know sometimes, how much they have really worked on rotations, how much they have worked on coverages of ball screens, and do they know shell? You're hoping with all the research and all the time you spend in recruiting them that those type of things, but it's different. A step slow on this level means you're getting dunked on. A step slow in high school means you still probably can get that block. Offensively, giving up the good for the great. We talk about that all the time in our program, and that's what we strive upon. So having those guys understand that, can you make an impact on the floor without you scoring? So I think those are the two biggest things, defensively, and then offensively, can you give up the good for the great? Can you make an impact without scoring?
Gotcha. There are a lot of guys out here as AAU season continues to roll on that feel like it's about how many points they score.
We're watching so much more than that. Like, yeah, we want to, can you shoot the basketball? Can you score it? But if you score 20 points and all of them win transition, that's not telling me you're a scorer. So how else did you impact the basketball game?
Coach, you brought up something, and I want to play this clip. I'm pretty sure you've seen this, but I want to play this clip and get your thoughts on it. I feel like you're going to give me something profound here. I just want you to listen to this statement really quickly.
Hey, Austin, you talk about feeling lucky for this opportunity. Like, have you wrapped your head around the opportunity that you have moving forward, given all these injuries and the platform that you may well have going into the playoffs?
Nah, I just take it day by day. I know we got Monte coming back and Will coming back. For me, I just told Coach, no matter where they play me, when they play me, start, don't start, here, there, like every minute I'm in there, I'm just going to be playing hard as hell. You know what I mean? And when I'm not in there, listen, we could go back and forth about things in the past, but like one thing I've learned is like positive energy defeats everything. You know what I mean? And it's so much easier to live life happier. It's so much easier to live life positive instead of worrying about yourself and being involved in yourself. And as a player, I'll be honest, like in the past, like all of us do, you want to do well. You want to be this, you want to be that guy. I was that guy in high school. I wanted to be an all-star. I still feel like I'm good enough to be that, but like, that's not my role here. You know what I mean? My role here is to be aggressive. And obviously I have big nights like tonight. I'm gonna have many more. I plan on having many more, but we got a MVP here. You know what I mean? And so you support that guy, and we got Michael who's upcoming, and you support that guy. So I go in there and I do my thing and I play hard, but whether I play or whatever platform I'm on, or if I'm in the game, not in the game, like I'm nothing but positive energy, man. That's all I'm trying to bring to this team every game. Like I said, when you're not playing for 2 months and something's taken from you, it changed me. And I had to look in the mirror and say, okay, well, there's things I still have to change. It's not all New York's fault or this fault or this fault. Like I have to do better. So I'm working on that every day.
I thought that statement was amazing. And before I tell you where my brain went, Coach, I just want your opinion, just live reaction to that statement from Austin Rivers.
One of the best clips that you could ever have, that you could ever show, true emotion about what he feels about the guys he's around, the guys he's able to play with. understanding that this is a guy who was, I remember going to Centennial High School. I can't remember, it was Ken Littlefield's showcase that he had around New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and packing the gym to see Austin Rivers. And to see you go from a kid that everybody wanted to see to now he plays a role on a team that's, one of the top 4 teams in the West this year. And he's been around in the NBA, but he understands how to stick around and what it means to be a team. So when I see that clip, I hope guys are paying attention to it. I hope guys are really taking it in. Like, do you want to leave a legacy? A legacy is not about I'm putting up 30 points and my team is 500. Because nobody in 10 years is going to remember you dropped 30. They may remember it every homecoming, but they'll forget it. But when they go see that banner that we put up last year, or they'll see the banners that are hanging in our gym here from the previous winners here at Voorhees, that's a legacy that when you come back, people talk about all the time. That can't be taken away from you.
100%, Coach. I had so many different emotions and feelings about that clip, knowing. And it starts right where you said, knowing who Austin Rivers was as a player. There are a lot of people who don't realize that he was, as they say, as the kids say, he was like that.
Yeah, he was
in high school. He was like that. Went to Duke and still carried himself like I'm like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now in this position. So I'll ask this question and we'll move on. But is this, and I'll start here, will this attitude, because I don't believe people believe this, will this attitude get a player recruited to the college level from high school?
If you're playing for the right program, yes. It all depends on the program. It all depends on the culture of that program. Like, in our program, yes, it can get you recruited. There are plenty of other programs I know about that it will as well. Like, it's not so much about what you can do, but it's what you bring for everybody else that's around you. Like in our program here at Voorhees, we talk about playing for the brother next to you. That's really big for us. And what Austin Rivers was talking about was playing for the guy next to him, understanding your role, understanding this part that I give my team on a daily basis is more important than if I go outside or I color outside the lines and do for me. It's not about me. We talk about family in our program. Forget about me. I love you. That's really big for us. And I think our guys really bought into that. And I remember our season started to go in a different way. We had it wasn't even a closed door. It was a circle meeting after practice. And I asked every one of those guys, what were you willing to give up? What were you willing to sacrifice? And we went around that circle, and everybody had to be willing to sacrifice, including myself, including Coach Williams, including Coach O, and we all said what we were willing to sacrifice. And everything changed after that. And it was tough because we didn't have our guys together before a short period. But that moment changed everything about our team. And I think that is what Austin Rivers is embodying in that statement.
I agree. It's a beautiful thing, and if more people bought into that, I think we even see a better game.
Correct.
At all levels, I think we see a better game. Coach, I'll move on to that. We talked a lot about the incoming freshmen, and I don't want to trample over a great announcement, but we've got another announcement as far as another player that's coming in. I'll put this up and I'll let you talk about the most recent commit.
Definitely excited. We got longer. We got more athletic. We got better on the defensive end, bringing in freshman Troy McCant from Brooklyn Heights here in South Carolina. As you can see, he averaged almost a little over 11 a game, almost 8 rebounds, over 4 blocks. So we think when you add him and you add, Fred Spills from Portal, you're bringing in 2 freshmen who we're hoping can take that next step as they grow as freshmen. But in the next 3 years, can really be great players for us, especially on the defensive end, which we want them to be monsters rebounding and blocking shots, but athletic enough to give us a lot of offensive production on the other end of the floor. So we're really excited to get him. It gives us another homegrown, as we say. We want to put a fence around South Carolina and get guys that want to stay home in South Carolina. Yes, I love Georgia, and we're going to continue to recruit Georgia, but South Carolina is going to be our base. It's our bread and butter, and we're glad to get one of those kids who's from South Carolina, just right up the road in Columbia, to come down to Denmark and play for us.
Awesome. We've got a few highlights. We'll play those. I love it. Welcome to the family, Troy McCants.
I mean, just excited. You see the extra effort plays he gives and the energy he gives on the floor. I think that's going to carry over to what we want to do. I just can't wait, because I think we're going to be so much better defensively because we're going to be longer. We're going to be more athletic. We have that better length. And I'm excited, man. You know, Coach Williams and Coach O and I talk about all the time of what this team can become if we continue to develop. You know, we talk about the mantra of the school: begin, believe, become. So the beginning is putting this team together, and we as coaches and the players believe what we can become, and then we just got to go out and do it.
100%. I'm excited to see these guys, the returning guys that are coming back with Blue, Bowie, Rosario, you know, all those guys that are coming back. Really excited to see those guys. And then with some of the new guys that you have coming in, it's going to be great to watch these guys kind of gel together and figure it out. I think we started to see last year the team starting to kind of turn that corner. It's like, oh, they're getting it. They're dangerous.
Yep.
So it's going to be great to see this team kind of reconnect and gel and then grow together moving forward. It's going to be awesome. Coach, we want to talk about something that I think is very important, and one of an accomplishment that I know that is really near and dear to your heart. Academics is always a strong topic for you. Never one to allow your teams to slack off academically or not care about things academically. But before we get into that conversation, I think we have a special guest. Do we want to do the intro for our special guest for this week?
You know, when I took the job, you know, you got to get around and you got to learn who's who on campus. And the biggest person, one of the biggest people that has really helped me on campus and helping us get these guys, whether it was the ones that we had to get in November, December, so they could be ready in January, to the ones that we're bringing in now, is admissions counselor Cameron McLean. And the big part of that is he's a Voorhees alum. So that's been the biggest help for me. A guy who's been around the basketball program, who graduated from Voorhees, who can tell us the ins and outs when these recruits come on campus. So I'm excited to have him on the show. And he's your Louisville, Kentucky buddy. So I know you guys have a lot to talk about.
We do. He's just cheering for the wrong team. That's okay. I won't hold it.
No, man, Kentucky all day.
How you doing, Mr. McLean? It's so great to have someone from the administration at Voorhees to come on, especially a grad, somebody that can kind of tell us some of the history, what it's like being around year after year at the school. But before we get there, I want to know, what was it like meeting Coach Huff when he first came on campus? Was he drinking out of the fire hose, Coach? Was he deer in the headlights a little bit at first?
No, man. Coach was smooth, man. Like, you know, I knew right away when he first came on campus. I knew when I first met him, when you know, I was giving him the tour and everything. I was like, you know, this is the guy that they're ultimately gonna choose. Like, I knew as soon as I met Coach Huff, he had what it takes. He didn't even know at the time, but he already had what it takes to be a Voorhees Tiger. But man, when I first met him, we chopped it up a little bit. We talked about basketball, just everything, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when he first got here. I've definitely enjoyed the relationship that we've continued to create as he's been here, and whoever leaves first, me or him, is going to still continue to be that way after that. So.
For sure. One thing that and you and I agree. I felt like I knew he was going to be the guy when he first stepped on campus as well. You and I agree. We were both believing that for him. I've known Huff to always have a plan of what he wanted to execute. Did you feel that early that he kind of had a plan of attack on exactly how he wanted to execute things?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was so impressed with Coach Huff because when I first met him, he handed me just basically the Tiger, it was a portfolio of the Tiger vision of exactly what he wanted to do. From an athletic standpoint to an academic standpoint to a culture standpoint. I'm like, oh man, this brother then came all the way prepared. I'm telling you, I was sold from day one. I was like, oh, I told Miss Johnson, I'm like, Miss Johnson, I know I don't have any say so in who we hire, but Coach Huff is the guy. But definitely, he's had that vision and that plan from day one. And man, it's just been an honor and a pleasure just to watch him see that come into fruition.
Write the vision and make it plain. 100%. So, Huff, let's talk about the admissions process and how that works and how you and Mr. McClain work together to kind of help these student athletes get in on campus. Do you offer first and then start the process of talking to Mr. McClain about how the admissions process of getting the student accepted, or how does that kind of play out?
Well, we're a kind of program, we don't offer just everybody. And what that means is, like, there are certain kids we target, and when we target you, we've probably already done our research on what your GPA is, what your test scores are, what does that mean for us as far as academically. And so once we figured all that out and we do want to offer you, and then we do offer you, then I go to Cam and I go, Cam, this is a kid that we really want. All right, I'm going to have him start the admissions process. Let's get this thing rolling. I'm going to have him and his parents reach out to you, and let's go from there. And then Cam is great in taking that ball and running with it. He's always accepting those phone calls, and parents say, hey, what else do I need to do? Can I get accepted with my unofficial transcript until I'm done with until I'm done with school and I get my official transcript? And Cam will talk to you more about, like, just the kind of culture we've kind of changed academically on the kind of guys that we want to bring in. So I tried to make it a little bit easier for him on who we going to get in.
I know if you was going to set that question up, but man, yeah, in terms of academics, all the athletes that I've worked with, through, all the programs, whether it's men's basketball, women's basketball, track, cross country, most of the athletes that I've worked with definitely, they've got it academically. Just in the past, though, previous basketball coaches, they tend to lean a lot more towards transfers, and it's harder for me to work with a transfer as opposed to a first-time freshman because a lot of our admissions requirements and things are a lot more relaxed for incoming freshmen as opposed to transfers. So, when Huff first got the job, I think like the first, like, most of the people he brought me were like 3.8, 3.5. Like, no, I don't think he ever brought me anybody below a 3.5, man. And, just the coach, like, I'm not going to say that the culture before Huff was that, the students didn't do it academically, but I can definitely say after Huff, they've definitely elevated the standard. When Huff first got here, you had people like Alex Brooks that was already, Mr. Voorhees, but then you had, Bryce was SGA, business manager and stuff like that. But Huff came in, and a lot of, like, all the guys that he has recruited, they all get it done academically. They all, they all got a good head on their shoulders. I've talked to them all. I talked to most of them constantly. As a matter of fact, Antonio just called me a little while ago. Yeah, he called me the other day, man. So I really enjoy, working with Coach Huff and just the guys he's bringing in. I feel like I'm working with another Coach Cal, because he came in and he had Hector coming in and he had Jordan and all those guys. I'm like, oh man, he can't top that. And then, lo and behold, the next semester here comes Christian and all those guys. I'm like, wow, he just reloaded.
What does the feel like on campus about the program and about the team? I know it was hard to build that excitement and energy because of COVID and people not being on campus, but have you guys been able to kind of get some traction and excitement, like you said, with all the guys that Huff has been able to bring on campus?
Right. So we've definitely got some excitement. At Voorhees College, basketball is king. We don't have a football program, so basketball is king. And historically, the basketball program has done well. So it whenever things get back to regular scheduled programming, post COVID, hopefully we get there soon. But it's always exciting around basketball season. We're always, and we expect greatness. And Coach Huff, that's the first thing he talked about when he got here was like, the previous coach, Coach Mitchell, was like, you better not lose homecoming. But he's right though. That's how it is here, and we definitely excited. And this platform right here just again takes it a step further. I don't know if I'm supposed to name drop the explosion yet, or if you're gonna
you can name drop it.
Just events like that on campus, man, are huge. Not just for the basketball program, but for Voorhees in general. Located in rural Denmark, South Carolina, a lot of people in South Carolina don't even know about Voorhees College. So opportunities like this, where you got different schools from different states coming down, it's just it's exciting. It's exciting for me, and as an alum, unofficially as a Denmarkian now, even though I'm Louisville all day, just having stuff like that in the town of Denmark, it's exciting. It's exciting.
And it's exciting having Cam a part of us. Like he's an unofficial coach for us. Like we had the tryout workout we had, last month in April. And Cam came and spoke at the beginning of camp, on his off day, before he was going to a big event later. But he came and spoke and gave a spiel on making sure guys understood that they were walking into greatness. They were walking to a great institution and what we're about here at Voorhees. So it's great having him on board with us, man.
That's awesome. Let's talk about the summer explosion a little bit. It's something that you established here in Georgia and brought with you to Denmark, South Carolina. We all know in Georgia how awesome that event is going to be. But Coach, let's talk about it. Let's give everybody the dates and who's involved and what's going on.
Man, June 16th and June 23rd. So, we tried to choose the Wednesday before the NCAA has their live period. So obviously it's been a year before when a lot of the Division I coaches could come back out. And so we wanted to do is prepare these teams, just come to Denmark, South Carolina, get ready, play with a shot clock, which the National Federation of High Schools has now approved the 35-second shot clock for everyone after we had already approved it in Georgia. So they get to play with a shot clock and just kind of get ready before they go to these dates, all over. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia have one the first weekend, and the second weekend after the 23rd, which is the 25th through the 27th. Georgia has another one. They're having a JUCO one. They're having another one in South Carolina. So just trying to allow teams to get prepared, to get some work in the summer. We have teams, our own Denmark Ola, who's right down the street from us. They're going to be involved. Bamberg, we've got Jacoby, who's from Bamberg, so his team's coming. But we've also got East Coweta, all the way from East Coweta, Georgia, coming. We've got Grovetown from Georgia coming. We've got the state champions Cross Creek coming from Georgia. So we've got we got, Fox Creek from South Carolina coming. So we've got teams all over South Carolina, all over Georgia, the Walnut Groves. All those people are coming down, only 3.5 hours away from Atlanta. You know, if you're talking about from Greenville, you're talking about another 3 hours. But if you're a Columbia team, which we have some coming, that's only an hour. Charleston, you're talking about at best 2 hours. So we've got teams coming in. Come play some play dates on those days. Get better, and be prepared for your season. June is that month to help you get prepared before those guys go off and play AAU.
It is a tremendous experience. Having been there to some of these events and witnessing it, I think having it at Voorhees is going to take it to another level because you get kids to get in that college environment. And one thing that I know from being around these kids all the time is that if there are college coaches in the gym, the way they play the game changes. There's a different level of intensity and things like that.
And what's so great about it is, number one, and we did it when I was in Georgia, it's not just for us here at Voorhees. Like, if there are other college coaches that are close by, we got your Claflins, you know, we got Morris, you know, and I can keep going down the road of guys. If they want to come watch, they can come watch. I mean, I can't take all 15 guys on every team that's coming to play, right? But then again, you know, we're Denmark, we're a family. So it's not Denmark Tech versus Voorhees. Like, so we're doing this in conjunction with each other. So they're going to be playing some games at Denmark Tech. They're going to be playing games at Voorhees. But you get the atmosphere of knowing what it's like to have JUCO guys playing in a JUCO gym. You're playing in a NAIA gym, but you're playing in front of college coaches in a city that has two distinct colleges in it, just right down the road from each other.
Beautiful. Get a chance to really get on campus and see that. I know kids and parents absolutely love that. It's one thing to hear the name of the school or receive a pamphlet or a PDF about a school. It's another thing to really step foot on the grounds and get a chance to see. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if there are a player or two that walks on campus and says, man, this feels like home. I wouldn't mind going here. It's happened at every visit that I've taken my teams to as an AAU coach. You walk away and a kid that maybe you wouldn't even expect that says, Coach, can I go here? Like, this is great. Like, I love it here. So it's a tremendous opportunity for those kids.
That's what's so amazing, man, because Cam does a great job when I bring out these guys who want to come on visits and I let Cam do his thing. And like, we didn't have anybody on campus, man. And to get guys to commit to us, to commit to the V, as we say, when we don't have anybody on campus. I mean, when we were trying to get guys before the season started, like, it was really nobody on campus. Like, and you're just walking around like, well, this is the building. This is what it looks like, you know. But it's been great, man. And like I said, Cam has been an integral part of us. This recruiting class, the one that we had for the guys coming in this year and then the one we got, for 2021.
Cam, I hope I get a chance to meet you, brother. I'll be up there for Summer Explosion. Can't miss it. Getting a chance to see those guys play with a shot clock. Just a tremendous opportunity. You get to play teams that you don't normally play. In the high school season, you play your region games. You're going to see these teams year in, year out, every year.
Yeah, trust me. If I have it my way, it's going to be a huge crowd because I'm already starting to think of some ways to get, not necessarily athletes, but just different students that I've been recruiting around the state of South Carolina on campus. We've got a huge pool of students that have expressed interest. So, now that I know that thing it's not even in motion. It's solid and solidified. Yeah, we're gonna try to make. It's gonna be nice. I already know.
I see why Cam is an unofficial coach. The energy around those programs. That's why you do a good job for athletics. The energy is there.
Honestly, it's just, for me, with Voorhees, it's so easy because it's not, I don't talk to anybody about anything that, I haven't experienced here. And it's all about the campus in general. It's not about smoke and mirrors. We're not trying to trick anybody. What you see is what you get. And we try to be 100% transparent with anybody we come in contact with. And that's another one of the things that, right off the bat, me and Coach Huff, I was like, I not only do I like this guy, but I respect him because he's not gonna drag you along, and and that's how it is here. What you see is what you get. I'm not gonna try and trick anybody into committing to Voorhees athletically or academically, So that's what it's all about, and you got to have a passion for what you do, and historically, if I may go off on a tangent a little bit. Just Coach knows I do that all the time. That's my core thing right there. But at Voorhees, man, we just try to embody the same tenacity and fight that our founder had, man. She founded this institution when she was 23 years old. And, you know, she tried to find it. She tried to start it 10 different times. And 3 of those times, they literally burned her dream to the ground. So, you know, we as an institution, we try to have that same fight and tenacity. Because just imagine in the late 1800s and early 1900s, the worst thing you could possibly be is an African-American woman. So, you know, to have the tenacity and fight to, you know, after 10 times, they tell you no, to go ahead and start your own institution. You know, who are we over 125 years later not to take advantage of that? So we just try to take that same tenacity, that same fight, and put it into our students. And so when our students go out into the world, whether it's, you know, on the court, on the field, in the classroom, just have that same fight and that same tenacity. Never say no, never die. If they tell you no, find another way around it. Let's get it done.
You're going to need that tenacity when you talk about being in college. I mean, Huff mentioned it earlier when it comes to, hey, you arrive on campus, you got to be able to handle these practices. You got to be able to compete.
Right.
Then you got to be able to come and compete in the classroom. So I want to put this graphic up here, and let's talk about this team GPA for Voorhees basketball.
Man, this is our spring term GPA, and really excited about it, man, because, you know, I challenged our guys to have the highest GPA of any athletic team on campus. We did come up a little short, unfortunately, but it speaks to the level of commitment that our guys went after this and how hard they went after it. To have 8 guys with a 3.0 GPA this term, and to have a guy with a 4.0 GPA this term. So really excited about that, especially, you know, people don't understand how hard it is virtually to take these classes. You're talking about taking biology classes or taking, you know, math classes or whatever it is. That's tough to take when you're talking about being online. And then the travel that we had this year, like, was so condensed and like on the road so much. Like, these guys we're trying to win a conference championship, they're trying to get schoolwork done before the game, you know. So really proud of the guys and what we're able to accomplish. And they understand that I love them for the 3.02. But we're going to improve that even more. So it's going to get better.
Cam, can you talk to us about and talk to our listeners about the type of opportunities when it comes to being admitted into college based on your GPA? We talked a little bit off air about a presidential scholarship, and people may not understand what that is.
Right.
But can you talk about some of the different opportunities that may be afforded to a student based on the GPA and test score that they have?
Got you. So in terms of our scholarships, we've got our 2 biggest ones are the presidential scholarship and the dean scholarship, especially for out-of-state students. A presidential scholarship is a full scholarship. Everything is paid for. And for an out-of-state student, in order to qualify for one of those scholarships, you have to have at least a 3.8 GPA, and you have to have either a 20 on the ACT or a 1,000 on the SAT. Our second tier scholarships for out-of-state students is the Dean Scholarship, which is a 3.0 to a 3.5 to a 3.79, and that is a 900 on the SAT or a 20 on the ACT. So, you know, that's what we require in terms of out-of-state scholarships. Now, in-state, it's just a little bit more relaxed. We have 3 scholarships. We have the presidential, the dean, and the trustee. The presidential scholarship, again, is a full scholarship. With that, you're looking at, again, a 3.8 GPA. But this has to be, you have to have at least a 900 on the SAT or 19 on the ACT. Now, our deans and our trustee scholarship, there's not a test score requirement, but for the deans, you got to have a 3.0 to a 3.49, and for the trustee, you have to have at least a 3.0. For those scholarships, you do have to rank in the top 30% of your class. Your EFC, your expected family contribution on your FAFSA is definitely factored into that. A lot of these are probably, some of this stuff is definitely stuff that I'm sure students aren't 100% familiar with. because trust me, it took me about 4 years to understand all that stuff. But if y'all have any questions about EFC, class rank, things like that, Coach Huff will tell you my line is always open. And I'm not just here for athletes. Any student that is looking to further their education at Voorhees College, just to learn more about Voorhees College, definitely give me a call. And in terms of just your GPA and the opportunities at Voorhees, I like to say we meet students on two different realms. Personally for me, I know Coach Huff has heard this story 16,000 times, but I graduated high school with a 1.6 GPA. And Voorhees College was actually the only 4-year institution that gave me an opportunity. Now, mind you, again, like you, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. So I had to drive, I had to find a school 9 hours away just to give me an opportunity. But, after, 4 years of my matriculation at Voorhees, I was able to graduate with honors. So we take that student that society and academia has ultimately given up on it. We give them an opportunity and a chance to not only prove themselves right, but prove everybody else wrong. Like, it's not necessarily about how you start, it's how you finish. We try to take students from where they're at and bring them to where they want to be. But also on the flip side of that, we take students like a Darius Snow, who was the Team Nick Halo awardee, 4.0 GPA student. We take students like that and give them a platform to further their education, go on and get that master's and go on and get that doctoral degree, things like that. So, we meet students where they're at. So whatever your GPA is, from an academic standpoint, if you're looking to go to college, Voorhees has so many opportunities academically, from an experience standpoint. I'm here to help with all that. Like I said, I love athletics. Basketball is my first love, but I'm here to make sure that students themselves have an opportunity to succeed.
I love that. I was probably graduating right beside you. Most people don't realize I was so close to not graduating high school that my name wasn't even on the program.
Yeah, I didn't get that notification until like the second day before graduation practice. Like there was a few. Honestly, the main reason I got by on the first 3 years of my high school for high school was just I really am convinced that my teachers gave me barely passing grades just so I can play on Friday. I'm convinced. But
I understand.
I had to kick it into high gear. But like I said, just being at Voorhees where there are people around you that want to see you succeed. They want you to do better. Like Coach says, forget you or forget me, I love you. Or how do you say it?
Forget about me, I love you.
There you go. That's not just athletics. That is the Coach has really taken the culture at Voorhees and just embedded it in the basketball program. And that's how it is. He talks a lot about, get 1% better every day. That's what we do. We focus on, your GPAs right here now. Focus this week on doing this. And a month from now, 2 months from now, your GPA is going to balloon from here to here. And it's not just about GPA, it's about opportunities. I'm telling y'all, I could talk all day. We could be here till 11:30 talking about opportunities at Voorhees. I'm telling y'all.
I love it. This is what the parents and the players need to understand, though. That is what they have to hear, that excitement about the academics, because now the basketball and the academics are tied together.
Right.
It wasn't always that way. I remember a time when it wasn't, right? I remember Prop 48 athletes and things like that, where it didn't necessarily tie together, but now it's so tied together. And it's great to have a institution where, like you said, we'll meet you where you are. However, here's the standard of excellence.
Right.
Let us introduce you to this standard of excellence, and then allow you to believe that you can also reach that standard.
And that's exactly what it was about. Here's where you are. Here's our standard. We're not going to let you fall through the cracks. They didn't let me do the same 1.6 things I did in high school. they made sure, I had developed such a rapport with my instructors, and most students are the same way, that, if they turned in an assignment that their instructor felt like wasn't up to their, their capabilities, my professor would text me like, hey, Cam, you turn this in, and I know you could do a lot better than that. And he might have used a little bit different language, but I know you could do better than that. So you could turn this in now, and I'll give you a D, or I'll give you to the end of the day, and redo it, and get the grade that you deserve. And after about a year of that, it's just easy. I look back on it now, and I'm like, man, I don't understand how it didn't click that fast, but that's just how it is. That's how it is here.
Oh, and you actually talked about that when we talked about our recruiting pitch. I think this is appropriate to put this on the screen now, right? When we talked about why Voorhees, one of the things that you mentioned was the fact that a student athlete that was coming on campus would get more than basketball coming to Voorhees. That you mentioned those close personal relationships with the staff, and that parents could send their children to Voorhees knowing that there were going to be people there who didn't look at their children like just a number or another student, that they would be individuals still and taken care of like individuals at Voorhees.
When you're talking about Miss Jenkins, who's in the CAF, who's going to make sure your son or your daughter is going to have enough to eat. Like, we're not about card swipes here. You go in and get how much you want when you go eat, whether it's lunch, dinner, breakfast, brunch on the weekends, it doesn't matter. Or you're talking about our housing director, Ms. Clark, who set up pantries in each one of the dorms. So when they come back, like if they need something without having to go buy it, they can just grab it out the pantry. We've got guys on our team from Chicago. We've got guys from Florida. We've got guys from Georgia. We've got, obviously our homegrown guys from South Carolina, but we've got guys from everywhere. So not having to be able to call home and say, hey, can you send this package, from, Mikhail talking about, can I get this package from Louisiana, which may take 3 to 4 days? No, he can go right in the pantry. He can go get it. That's really big for us, So we talk about that. You talk about Ms. Johnson, who a lot of our guys, our athletic director called Mama, who's going to be at every game, who's going to cheer them on, who's going to tell them whether they did good, whether they did bad. I don't know if you should be shooting that 3 there, but she knows basketball. She's in the Hall of Fame of South Carolina State, as a basketball player, and has been an athletic director at a Division I level. So we've got people everywhere on this camp. Nurse Williams, who did such an excellent job of making sure we stayed safe throughout this season with COVID, who, would stay on our guys. Hey, do you have gloves? Do you have a mask? Make sure you're wearing your mask. Those type of things don't go unnoticed on this campus, man, and don't go unnoticed by me and everybody on my staff about how we try to take care of everybody and how everybody here is family.
Absolutely beautiful. That's beautiful. Coach, do we want to let's give an outlook on what we can expect for next year? When are guys allowed back on campus?
So that's a great question. So number one, we're trying to get, well, we're not trying. All of our guys have been in contact with Cam to come to orientation June 12th. So that's all our freshman guys. And when they get here June 12th after orientation is over, we're going to have a little workout for them, send them back home. But then they're going to come down for what we call Tiger transition. That allows them to get 6 to 9 hours of classwork in. That allows them to take some excursions around South Carolina, get to know their surroundings. But they're on campus from July 10th to July 30th. So basically you get 20 days on campus. I might be off a 1 or 2 days, but then our staff gets to work with those freshmen during that whole time. So we can start working out. We can go to the weight room, all that kind of stuff. So then freshmen have to be on campus August 6th, and then everybody else comes back August 11th, and we're starting to go. It's time then.
No, that Tiger transition program is that's a game changer for us. And actually, all your guys are going to be part of Tiger Scholars. There's a little difference between Tiger Transition and Tiger Scholars. The Tiger Transition are students that came into Voorhees, kind of like myself, that had below the required GPA. Tiger Scholars are those students that have above that above that GPA, their classes are a little bit different, but it's the same concept. And actually, those students will be there. Once they move on for Tiger transition, they don't got to move back home until Christmas break. So they'll be there from then all the way until the end of that semester. So it's just a game changer, and just to know like you're especially for a lot of athletes, they're getting that they're able to focus on getting their body ready for the season and things of that nature. But also, you're starting to earn credits towards your degree, and especially for first time freshmen, you'll start your freshman year with up to 9 credits. And again, man, that's just you can't beat that. You can't beat that.
When we talk about eligibility, that's big for us on the eligibility end.
I needed that. When I went to college, I definitely needed that. It was a totally different experience than what I got. We won't talk about that. I hope those freshmen are ready, Coach, because I'm assuming that if you get a chance to work with them, there could be some 6 a.m.s. I know how you like to work.
Well, Cam was around, and we were. It was unfortunate for a young man. We, in every situation, some people can. It's tough. College basketball is tough, and I don't play when it comes to how hard we practice, how we compete, the kind of conditioning you've got to be in, and so they've got to come with it, as we said. And Cam was around, and he came to a couple of practices at the beginning, so he saw.
Coach is trying to be nice. Basically, what he's saying, and I'll second it, is be ready. Be ready. Don't call me asking a million times when the season's going to start, and then when you get here, you're not ready. Be ready when you get here.
There will be trash cans located in the corners of the gym. If you feel like there's an emergency, find your way to the trash can to do what you need to do.
Right.
Those 6 a.m. workouts are legendary. But like you said, to me, right, what we're just summarizing what we're saying is that I didn't get that opportunity as a freshman in college. Right. I think I arrived maybe a week or two before everyone else did in college. I certainly wasn't taking classes. My first day of class was everybody else's first day of class. So you're trying to figure it out. That's a lot to figure out. And you have all these new things thrown at you all at once. To be able to come almost a month early, right? To be able to have 2 visits, one in June and then again in July, and to be on campus almost a month in advance, already getting accustomed to college life, getting college credits, working with your college coach in an environment, especially before all the big dogs get there, your upperclassmen that you got. It's an amazing opportunity, man. That is an amazing opportunity that hopefully they can get the basics and learn not only the basics of how Huff wants his practices run and what the fundamental things are, the drills that they're doing, and be able to learn terminology, but also learn in the classroom of, wow, what is it going to take for me to truly be successful in a college classroom? That's a heck of a first step that they get.
Yeah.
Guys, we've reached the end of our time today. Cam, man, I definitely appreciate having you on, brother. It's been amazing.
Absolutely.
I don't want Cam to get out of here, because part of this thing is that, it's not just about basketball for me, but it's about selling Voorhees. And there's some things that we have here at Voorhees that a lot of other places don't have, man. So, Cam, I don't know if you want to talk about cybersecurity. I don't know if you want to talk about the radio station, but I would like you to end up with just a little blurb about that, because I think we've got some great stuff going on in what I call little old Denmark, South Carolina at Voorhees, that a regular student, not just an athlete, but a regular student can take advantage of.
Man, there are again, like I'm telling y'all, I could talk for till 11 o'clock about the different opportunities, but I'll try to highlight just a few. you definitely preferenced the radio station. You know, our radio station, we are one of the only schools in South Carolina that have our own radio station, 96.5 FM and 97.5 AM. We want to shout out our station manager, Mr. CJ Clarence Jones. He's always doing his thing. And for students that are interested in that, you know, he gives students opportunities to come on, create their own show. So something like a platform like this, but you know, obviously just audio, you will have the opportunity to do that as a freshman. Come in and do that, and you know, obviously radio, whether it's radio broadcast, television broadcast, you know, the key is getting those reps in, getting that experience, and you'll start to get that as a freshman. If you want to work on the programming side, we've got that. Now that's all part of that mass comm department. I'm kind of biased to the mass comm. I got my degree here in mass comm, so very multifaceted degree. And you touched on cybersecurity, which is obviously it's a fast growing major, especially with what's it?
The bakery is still downtown.
Oh yeah, We Bakery,
yeah.
Yes, sir. But you touched on the cybersecurity program, one of the fastest growing majors, not just in Voorhees, but in the nation, period, because of, you know, where we're going right now because of, you know, COVID. After 2 years, our students will get a certification in cybersecurity, and then their fourth and final year, they'll get that their bachelor's degree in computer science. Opportunities to intern at the Savannah River site. We have a career pathways initiative program that is literally designed to make sure that once students graduate, they're not going to a job, they're going to their careers, because anybody can go and get a job. I can go hop on at McDonald's or you know, Piggly Wiggly down the road and get a paycheck. You know, our thing is we want students to jump in their career field. We want them to be prepared so that once they leave here, you know, they've got the blueprint, the keys to success. So those are just like three big things. We do have one of the best libraries in the country. Our history museum is crazy.
Our history museum is on top, is on the second floor of the library. It's by far phenomenal. Yeah,
definitely. Ask about that number 23 Chicago Bulls jersey when you get here. I'd love to tell y'all the story about Jackie Dinkins. So, man, we've got so much to offer from an academic standpoint, from your collegiate experience standpoint. I know a lot of students might think, you know, Voorhees College, a small school, might produce a small caliber of graduates, but we've got millionaires, we've got doctors, we've got lawyers, senator, you know, we've got any field of human endeavor. We have, you know, we have somebody in that field. And those, especially our alum, they're just so ready, eager, and thirsty to help our students and help you succeed. You know, when they see you at homecoming, it's not going to be, oh, it's going to be, you know, hey, what can I do to help you? What internship do you need? Is there a position in my company that you know that you see that you could fill and would help progress you? So there's just so many opportunities. Like I said, I could talk till 11:30, 12 o'clock.
And I love it. They got to get ready because November 13th is the day. That's homecoming. If you want to get down to Denmark, that's the time to get down here.
The day before my birthday, don't tell me I get to celebrate my birthday and watch my guy get a win at homecoming too.
Let's go. So, you know, we talk about that, and I know, you know, Cam could say it too, but we're one of the few schools that offer an entrepreneurship degree in business.
Right.
I think that's very big, especially a lot of African Americans. They've already started their entrepreneurship business in high school. They're selling shirts. They're doing a lot, like Keyshawn, who's coming to us, Keyshawn Fleeton, who's coming to us from St. Anne Pacelli. He already makes his own T-shirts. So when he came on campus and Cam said entrepreneurship degree, his eyes lit up like
his eyes lit up, man. I tell you.
That's awesome. I think it's great too, because now I'm not sure what the image and likeness rules and how all that's going to play out, but I'm hoping that you see more athletes who are also businessmen while they're playing. And I hope the NCAA allows it. Legitimate businesses, guys that have brands, guys that are social media influencers. I love that. I love that the young people are choosing kind of non-traditional paths because I think it's going to make the world a better place.
Yeah, that's definitely the wave now. That's definitely the wave now. A lot of everybody pretty, that the generation right after me, it's all about having your own. You can never be a millionaire working for somebody else. And, that's something I don't know who told me that, but that's something I see in these, younger guys is that they're, they're hungry. They're out there trying to get it, creating every business under the sun.
Building brands. Selling socks. I've seen a kid selling socks and making a lot of money selling socks. But I absolutely love it. It teaches you a lot. And even if they whether you stay an entrepreneur or you decide to go into corporate America, the life lessons that you learn from being in business will stay with you for the rest of your life. No one can ever take those experiences from you. It changes you for the good of those experiences. So, but again, thank you guys for your time, man. It's been awesome. I've learned a lot about Voorhees. I can't wait to get up there for Summer Explosion. Gonna be a great time. Can't wait. Grovetown. Coach Douglas, I can't wait to see you, brother. Coach Blue, East Coweta, can't wait to see you, my man. And get introduced to so many of those guys from the state of South Carolina. I definitely want to watch the South Carolina teams play, all with the shot clock. That's amazing. That's amazing. We're gonna see who can get to it. But that's our show, man. I look forward to seeing everybody back next week. I have another great show lined up for you, but this is episode 14 of Voorhees Tiger Vision, and we're signing off.